Jimbo, it's funny because you texted me this morning about the game. You're like, maybe I'm bad luck. I don't know because as soon as you left the game, all of a sudden the second half. Well, let's be honest. The fourth quarter was a little more interesting in the Jets Texans game. But man, to get through those first three quarters was apparently even Al Michaels was being his even more of his usual snarky self yesterday about having to watch that game, and I was with him. If you heard me in a gym, that was a hard game to watch. It really was.
Yeah, yeah. That first half was pretty rough
That
for me.
first half was so rough. But hey, the Jets ended up putting on. And I told you. What did I tell you? What did I tell you about the Texans, man? They kind of feel like 3-3, 4-3, 3-4 kind of team. They feel like it, even though now they're only 6-3, and the Jets only 3-6. But here's the good thing about that is that we both picked the Texans, so we're off to a roaring start here in Week 9. You know. And welcome everybody to the Friday Forecast. I'm your boy King. That guy right over there, that's your good friend Jimbo. And this is Stay Tuned Sports Friday Forecast, where we go ahead and make our picks and predictions for Week 9 already here in the NFL season. And today, Jimbo, as I sent in the group chat, 100 days until Super Bowl licks down there in New Orleans. And who doesn't like getting a few licks down in New Orleans? I'll tell you what. You get a couple of those hurricanes in you. You're licking everything around. And that's where we are. LIX 59. Where, hey, listen. If I live to be another 10 years and I get to Super Bowl 69, that is going to be a party. And if that one is not, if you don't have Super Bowl 69 in either New Orleans or Las Vegas,
Yes.
that's a missed opportunity. It's just a missed opportunity.
Very big missed opportunity.
Very big missed opportunity. You got to be able to. Boy, I'd want to make the logo for that one though. That probably wouldn't be approved, but I'd like to make the logo for it. I'm just saying. Anyway, so thank you so much for joining us here on the Friday Forecast, where we're getting ready to go ahead and make our picks. Now, of course, as I mentioned in the intro, as we're coming in here, we're both 0-1 already. Because, well, who's going to pick the Jets? And even the Texans weren't playing that great, but you're playing the Jets, and they're playing at MetLife. And the New York/New Jersey teams who play at MetLife can't score there. Apparently, you can only score at MetLife if you play in college in the middle of Indiana. That's it. That's the only way you can go ahead and do. Well, northern Indiana, but still. I know South Bend's not in the middle of Indiana. It's on the lake. And so, all right, fine. Listen. I won a geography bee in 6th grade, all right? I know where things are, all right? Calm down. Anyway, so we already have that one done. So let me go ahead and let's just jump over to the picks and start getting to it right now. We'll make this pretty quick. We'll get into it. But as we look at it right now, boy, we're kind of in lockstep with all these picks. We have the Texans, which was the same, which is a loss. Now, coming up on Sunday, the first 4 games I see, we actually have the same. So we'll just run through these quickly. We have the Dallas Cowboys at the Atlanta Falcons. We both have the Falcons. My personal view on it is the Falcons, even though inconsistent, they will be at home. The last time they were home, they let the Seahawks beat them, and the Seahawks are a bit on fraud alert. So it's hard to trust the Falcons a lot because they're a little bit inconsistent. But, man, I cannot pick the Cowboys right now. They are just a mess. They are bad. I can't pick them. Jimbo, why are you picking the Falcons over the Dallas Cowboys?
I mean, same reason. I mean, that defense just can't figure it out. Like, week in, week out, we're always like, is this the week they put it together? And here we are, 9 weeks into the season, and I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel for this defense.
And that's the thing. Listen, even I understand they have Micah Parsons out. I understand they have DeMarcus Lawrence out. Those are 2 huge pieces of the defense that they have out. But they weren't performing well even when they had them in. Yeah. And it's only gotten worse, obviously, without them. But and listen, DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons, they don't play on offense. And the offense is a problem. So, for that reason, like, again, I think the Falcons are a little bit more inconsistent. I think, I want to see them put a couple games together here where they can go. Ice is ready. But, right now, I can't pick the Cowboys. In the next game, we have the Broncos versus the Ravens. I was this close to picking the Broncos because the Ravens, man, they just this is how they are. They talking about an inconsistent team, and it was looking like they were just starting to get consistent, and then you go and you lay an absolutely giant turd in Cleveland and let yourself get beaten by the Browns, who again I know it's addition by subtraction without having Deshaun Watson there. But you still have to beat that team if you're the Ravens. If this is who you want to be, one of the top teams, the AFC powerhouse, you want to say that you're up there with the Chiefs, you can't lose to the Browns, and you lost to the Browns. Now you have the Broncos with a very good defense coming into M&T Bank Stadium, and who Bo Nix is playing better, and that Baltimore defense can get got. I mean, we've seen it happen. But all that being said, this feels like a Derrick Henry type of game. And like I said, I still think that the Broncos have a very good defense. But when you get Mount Everest rushing down at you at 17 miles an hour, it's very hard to stop that. So it just feels like this might be a game where the Ravens turn around. But boy, if the Ravens lose this game at home, after having already lost a game at home to an AFC West team in the Oakland Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders. Sorry, had a brain fart. They still belong in Oakland. Anyway, having lost to the Raiders at home earlier in the season already, and having a bit of that kind of inconsistency moniker to them, boy, if they lose this game, it's going to get real loud in a Charm City. It's going to get real loud. But for now, I will pick the Ravens. Jimbo?
I'm just not bought into the Broncos. Yeah, they're 5-3, but to me, they just don't.
I think they're 6-3. Aren't they 6-3?
According to because I got the app open.
Oh yeah, they are 5-3. All right, you're right. They are.
And maybe the Ravens just didn't get the memo that Deshaun Watson got hurt the week before, and it was expecting that they were playing him. weren't ready for good old Jameis Winston.
Yeah, listen, I don't care who you're playing or whoever the Browns were playing. You have to be ready for that.
Yeah,
you have to be ready for that. Dolphins Bills in Buffalo. Listen, did they play better with Tua? Yes. Did they still lose? Also yes. And now you're playing against the Bills, who seem to have gotten back on track after, that Baltimore game. I think fucked up the Bills a lot as far as how they, the next couple of games after that Baltimore game, Josh Allen was a little iffy. They were all kinds of screwed up. They were making some real silly plays. It seems like the Bills are back on track. They have Amari Cooper there, which is helping out tremendously. Keon Coleman is stepping up and looking like a dog up there for them at the receiver position as well. And the defense is playing better. And the Dolphins just aren't that good. So, Bills all day.
Yeah, same reasons, basically.
Alrighty, so let's pop up over here now to, we have the New Orleans Saints versus the Panthers. Listen, if the Panthers can win another game this year, it's this game. Yeah. I will say that. And I was close to picking the Panthers, but the Panthers are in a spot, being number 32 in both our Booty Cheeks 5. I can't pick them. Derek Carr is coming back. That might be a boost to the Saints and help them out a little bit. I think the Saints, for as bad as they've played, losing 6 games in a row, they should be better than the Panthers. So we'll see. One team has 2 wins. One team has 1. Maybe the Panthers tie the Saints with a win here in Carolina, and it is certainly possible. Because, like I said, the Saints are no great shakes. They are also in my Booty Cheeks 5. But I just physically cannot pick the Panthers at this point.
Yeah, I mean, like so, Derek Carr coming back, they should be slightly better. on the app here, Saints 86% of the public is picking the Saints to win over 14%. I think it should be more 50 to 50.
Yeah, it
But,
definitely feels like a more 50-50 game to me. Yeah.
yeah. And the Panthers, like, who else do they have left on the team? They're just trading everybody away for French fries.
Yeah, yeah, well, I mean, listen, Deontay Johnson wasn't anything great anyway.
No,
and
but-
I don't think that's gonna spark Baltimore's offense either. Like I'm not sure how I really feel about that trade. But again, he wasn't any great shakes. But also when you come to Carolina, what else do you have?
Yeah.
And there is also apparently word coming around that the Panthers are shopping around Bryce Young to see what they might be able to get for him before the trade deadline on Election Day. Coming up this Tuesday is, of course, the trade deadline as well.
Can't wait.
So get up there and vote, everybody, so then we can stop seeing these fucking ads.
Exactly.
Jesus, it's the worst part. It's the worst part. Our first differential of the week. We have the Las Vegas Raiders going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. I have the Cincinnati Bengals. You have the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going to tell you this right now. I feel like, listen, have the Bengals played great this year? Absolutely not. But Joe Burrow is still Joe Burrow. He is still, I mean, look at the stats. He's still there. He's still one of the top quarterbacks in the league. There's a lot else wrong going with the Bengals, but it's not Joe Burrow. The Raiders are just bad. The Raiders are unfortunately just a bad team, and they're not going to get any better. And whether it's Minshew playing for them, it's not going to be AOC there for a while. There's nothing good going on with Raider Land. They have one excellent player in Max Crosby on their team, and that is it. That is all they have, and it's showing. And they've put up some real good games. In fact, listen, they beat Baltimore in Baltimore. Great game. They gave the Chiefs everything that they could handle in Vegas. Cool game. That was still a loss, though. And they're going to be going to Cincinnati. It is a game on the road. They got to travel across the country to do it. The Bengals are still fighting to save their season. They're 3-5. It's not good. It's not great. You're not in a great spot, but it's not over yet. You still have a half season to play, and you never know how things can break. So the Bengals are desperate for a win. I think the Bengals pull this one off, and I personally don't think it's particularly close, Jimbo.
One reason, it just feels like this game is the game the Raiders just get lucky with. Like, the Bengals just lay an egg type deal.
So you're saying this is one of your feeling games?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I get that, and we said it all the time. We have our feeling games and do things like that. Yeah. So this is just a feeling game for you.
Yeah. And plus, I figured you'd take the Bengals, so I'm hoping for a win to get one win ahead of you.
Okay, I get it. I mean, you don't need that. Dude, everybody's ahead of me. My mother is ahead of me in the picks.
Yeah.
Everybody is ahead of me in the picks. Like, it's like I am having maybe one of the worst, absolute worst pick seasons I've ever had. I won these picks 2 years ago. I was in the running last year to win these picks. Right now, I think I'm 11th or 12th out of 15 people that are making these picks. Like, I am in pick hell right now.
Yeah.
It is not great.
I do want to add. I did win last week. Since no one wants to bring that up because
listen. Do you really? Are you that childish that you need validation that much that
Yes, I
you
do.
can't just be
That's
happy
all
with
I
the
got
fact
right
that you
now.
won?
That's
Like,
all
come
I got
on.
going for me.
We have another differential coming up in this game. Next game, we have the Chargers against the Browns. Boy, if the Browns put up 2 wins together here, I will be super impressed. And they can win this game. It's at home. You got Jameis again. The Chargers are who they are. I think they're a better team. Again, they're coming off another tough game. And where are they? They're 4-3. So they're not out of it. They're not nearly out of it as you would think. They've had a lot of injuries. They have a much different tone about them. I feel like this is a game the Chargers really need to win, especially if they want to try to keep pace with the Broncos, at least in the AFC West, if not so much the Chiefs, because again, the Chiefs are 7-0, and spoiler alert on what might be my Monday night pick, probably going to be 8-0. So yeah, I just feel I like Harbaugh. I think he's a good coach. I think they have the pieces there. The Browns are still the Browns. Like, again, it is better they have Jameis Winston in there. I am kind of rooting for them because Jameis is just he's a national treasure at this point. And it's so much nicer to root for him than it is for Deshaun Watson. You know, my man was losing his mind over the fact that there was, the restaurant over there in Ohio, kind of like Sonic, is like you put the tray on the window and eating out of it. Like it blew his mind. He had no idea. Like that's something you could do. And he's ordering all the different drinks. He wants the Ohio orange and the California grape and the Cincinnati cherry or whatever the hell it was. Like he's getting all the cool shit there. Like it was just, it's refreshing to have like a quarterback for the Browns that you can root for. But all that being said, I'm still going to go with the powder blue. Should be San Diego, but are Los Angeles Chargers in this game. Jimbo?
The Jameis Winston effect. It just, last week's game seems like he kind of injected a little bit of a fire or maybe a new kickstart. Like, he's not Tom Brady by any means, but he's definitely not Deshaun Watson. So, and the Chargers, they're kind of like just an average team. So this actually may be a decent game to even watch. It might be a close game.
I think so. I think it'll be a fun game to watch. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The following game, we have the Washington football team of Redskin Commanders coming off that incredible, unbelievable win over the Bears with the Hail Mary at the end of the game after the Bears just 30 seconds prior got their first lead of the game. Looked like they were going to win this game. Instead, the Commanders say, yoink, and steal it away from them. It really probably one of the most incredible moments in the last 5, at least maybe 5-10 years in the NFL. Truly incredible. Going to MetLife, the big HVAC unit, to play the New York Football Giants, who have yet to score an offensive touchdown at MetLife Stadium this year. We both have the Washington football team of Redskin Commanders. However, I think this game's going to be a lot closer than people think. Again, Washington could not score against this Giants defense just a couple weeks ago. And granted, I think they've gotten better since then. Don't get me wrong. But I think the Giants defense is good as well. I think we might actually score an offensive touchdown at MetLife this week. I think it might actually happen. I think there's a chance that it could happen. But the Giants, much like the Cowboys, much like the Jets for Thursday night, until they show me something, I can't pick them the rest of the year. Even as a Giants fan, and I'm going to be rooting for this game. We might watch this game. We still haven't come to consensus about which one we're going to do, whether we're doing this game or the Eagles game at 1 o'clock. We will figure that out, and we'll let you guys know, obviously, which game we will be broadcasting for the 1 o'clock slot. But I can't, until they show me that they can win, that they can even fucking score at home, I can't pick the Giants. So for me, it's the football team of Redskin Commanders. Jimbo?
One person, Brian Dable. I mean, I lost all respect for him. I know you lost respect for him.
Dude, when he threw Daniel Jones under the bus last week, that's atrocious.
That's up there with Anthony Richardson saying I was tired. You don't do that shit.
And people are giving him a pass on it. Like, people are giving him a pass. And, here in the New York area, like, Boomer Esiason on WFAN is still, like, lauding his praises and shitting on Daniel Jones. And listen, you can sit there and understand and say maybe Daniel Jones is not the best quarterback in the world. That's understandable. That's something I think most people would agree with. Even me at this point, as much as I've been a Daniel Jones apologist and supporter and all that, is Daniel Jones going to be the one that leads this team to success? Probably not. I think we can all see that writing on the wall, But to do that to your quarterback and say, like, Oh, everything that bad happened in the game. Oh, the 2-point conversion and the strip sack fumble. Oh yeah, no, that's not on the offensive line. That's not on No, he missed the call. He didn't do the proper shift. He didn't do that. It was the reason we lost this game was all his fault. And he'll tell you. He's coming up to the podium right now. He's going to tell you, boy. He's real sorry about how much he sucks out there. He's so terrible. He's so terrible. Look what I got to work with, guys. You know what I mean? It's like I'm doing the Ozempic. I'm trying to do everything I can. Like I don't know. You fat bald fuck. So again, I agree with you. Atrocious from Daboll. He's a piece of shit. Him and Shane should both be fucking let go, and they should have been let go after that Eagles game. I'm gonna be honest with you now, but Mara never does anything like that. So, but still, yeah, I think you have to. Like it's Commanders. It's Commanders all day, and it'll probably be again because of a bad play call or a bad decision that comes from fucking Daboll that cost the Giants the fucking game. 1,000%.
Yeah.
So moving on to the next games we have here, and that's going to be the Patriots. Oh, Jesus Christ. The Patriots and the Titans. Patriots coming off against the win against the Jets, which is another reason why we couldn't pick the goddamn Jets in the last game. Going up against the Tennessee Titans, who have just themselves one win. So 2-6 versus 1-6. I have the Pats. Again, Drake May, I think, is very good. He's a very good rookie quarterback. Believe it or not, you look at his numbers. He's playing very well on a very bad team with no offensive line. He's still putting up decent numbers. And for the Titans, they just don't have anybody. They just don't. They've traded everybody away. They've traded every decent piece that they've had has been traded away to Seattle, to everywhere, to Kansas City. They got rid of DeAndre Hopkins. Like they don't have anything left. They don't have any good quarterback on the roster. They don't have there's nothing going on in Nashville right now that is good. So I can't pick the Titans. And even as mediocre and bad as the Patriots have been, as they've had some time in the Booty Cheeks 5 clearly for me during this year. Listen, they did beat the Jets. However good or bad you think that is, that was a win there. And I think the Jets are a better team than the Titans. The Jets beat the Titans earlier this year. So I'm going to go with the Patriots on this one. Again, it's two bad teams, kind of a coin flip in my mind. And it is indeed a 50-50 split on the public picks. But I got to go with the Patriots.
I'm going with the Titans. Offensively and defensively with the Patriots, they're, like you said, they're just below average to just shitty. Tennessee's offense obviously is shitty, but they actually have a decent defense. So I'm basing my pick off of that. The defense is gonna keep the Patriots at bay, and maybe the Titans get lucky with one or two drives and get a touchdown or a field goal, and it's gonna be a low scoring game. It's gonna be like a 10-7 type game. Like I don't see the over going.
It could be, but again, like I said, with Drake May at least on that Patriots offense, and with the Titans defense just devoid of any talent at this point, like he might actually have time to complete a pass or get the offense going. I think the Patriots might actually score a couple points in this game and make it. It could be a close game, but I think the Patriots actually win this game, and I'm going to say probably going away. I'll say that. That's a bit of a hot take. That's a hot take right there. I think the Patriots win this game running away. The next game we have is the Chicago Bears coming off that absolutely heartbreaking loss, going up against the Arizona Cardinals out in the desert in Glendale. I have the Cardinals in this game. The Cardinals have been playing better football each and every week. They have been finding ways to win instead of finding ways to lose, which you've seen other teams do, like the Jets, which is why it's surprising they won yesterday. Everybody was waiting for that other shoe to drop when it came to the Jets last night. But it didn't. But the Cardinals have been finding ways to win, last-second field goals, last-minute stops. Kyler Murray has been looking very good. Marvin Harrison Jr. is improving, getting more, I guess, used to the NFL game. They're playing very well. When it comes to the Bears, that defense is a little suspect, although they played well against the football team of Redskin Commanders last week and Jaden Daniels. My thing for this game is going to be, this is a test, this is a marker here for seeing where Caleb Williams' maturity is. Because this was a question for him coming out of college. Like when he lost that Notre Dame game and ran into the stands and cried in his mom's arms, and everybody's like, is this guy serious? Like, is this guy, can this guy handle like something like that? Like if something bad happens in the NFL, how is he going to be able to handle that? Like how is his maturity level? How is he going to be able to be mentally tough to deal with something like that? And now you have a game like they had last week where they lose in that fashion. We're going to find out this week now because they got to travel halfway across the country out to the desert to play a game after the way they lost that last game. Where is Caleb Williams' head? Is he going to be able to focus and stay on task here to go ahead and get the Bears the victory? I don't know how that's going to be. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he falls apart. This is a chance for the Bears to show whether or not they can rally around, get back into it, and get another win. Or is this where it starts to spiral out of control and their season goes all the way down? Because the way they lost the last game, you can go either way. But if you start to spiral, boy, it's going to be a deep fucking spiral, and it's going to be quick and fast. But I do think that the Cardinals, they find a way to win, and that's just I can't go against that right now. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals with the victory over the Chicago Bears, and with a win, the Cardinals can take real control over the NFC West, depending on how all the other games drop. But
yeah, I'm going with the Bears, just because of that one bonehead play of the Hail Mary, that moron that should have been cut, next day. They almost beat the Commanders, who are a very good team. The Bears, I think they are what their record is. I think they're a 4-3, like an average team, and they beat one of the better teams in the NFC, all because of one bonehead stupid play. They lost.
Okay.
I don't think that play will affect Caleb Williams' maturity. Like I could see him be like, "You're just a moron. I did my job on offense. I could do it again." And that's coming from a Notre Dame fan that watched that game, with USC. So I think they're going to bounce back this game.
I think this game shows you the two things and why I ended up picking the Cardinals. Because my whole thing this whole time has been, if you've watched the Cardinals this year, they find a way to win games. When they're in a close game, when they're down real tight, they find a way to win. The Bears found a way to lose.
Yeah.
And that is a big difference. And I think that's something that could show its ugly head again in this game. In the next game, we have what might be the other game that we cover here. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Nick Sirianni-led, the one who everybody loves in Philadelphia, Nick Sirianni and his Philadelphia Eagles. Jimbo, I think clearly we can see, has picked the Philadelphia Eagles. This is my upset game of the week. This is the one where I went and said, this is one I think can actually be an upset, and fully put it out there. I got the Jaguars in this game, and I'm going to tell you why. There's a couple reasons. One, I still can't buy into the Eagles. Yeah, they mollywopped the Giants. Like, it wasn't even close. Like, that was a fucking beatdown. And then they went into Cincinnati and beat the Bengals. Another team that is a bit on the low side, not doing the best work right now, are the Bengals. And then you won last. Wait, what was last? Was last week the Bengals?
Last week was the Bengals.
Well, so last week was the Bengals game. So now here you go. You have another game here coming up against the Jaguars, another team that is, again, what are they, 2-6? So not the best, not great. But I'll say this: the Jaguars over the last 2 weeks have played a lot better brand of football. Trevor Lawrence has looked a lot better than what he has looked like the last couple of weeks, or really this entire season.
Yeah.
And with the Eagles winning the last 2 games the way they have, you get that cold feeling coming up the back of your neck, and you're like, Nick Sirianni's got to do something fucking stupid. Like, it feels like it feels like he's been holding it in. It feels like it's just something that's going to have to burst and just be like, Go fuck yourselves. It feels like, again, like you had your feeling game. This is kind of that feeling game. And it feels like this is a game where the Eagles don't prepare correctly. They don't show up right. And the Jaguars, who are playing a little bit better, take advantage of the situation. I'm not going to say it's a Dougie P revenge game because, I mean, it's been a lot of time and he's worried about his own fucking job now in Jacksonville. So there's a lot more to worry about than that. But I think the Jaguars can win this game. I absolutely think they can win this game. It feels like the Eagles the Eagles are due for a shit game. It just feels like they're due for it. Because you can't have too many good games in a row. And I think the Jaguars are playing better. I think they have a little bit more confidence. The game they played last week, even though they lost, might have been the best game of the year they've played so far. They played very well last week, even in the loss. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the Jaguars. This is going to be my upset special of the week. If people do that shit. That's what I'm going to go with there. So I have the Jaguars. Jimbo, of course, has the Philadelphia Eagles. Next game, this one might be another one I cover. I might do a 3-game Sunday. Might do a 3-game Sunday. We'll see. The Lions and the Packers in Lambeau Field. I have the Detroit Lions. Listen, the Detroit Lions are playing maybe the best football in the NFL of any team right now. There is not a team I think that is playing better offensively, defensively, special teams, all three phases. There is nobody playing better football in the NFL right now than the Detroit Lions. I can't pick against a team who plays like that. And even though they're at Lambeau, even though the Packers are a very good team, Love might be playing. He's going to be playing hurt, though, with that groin. Again, it hurts the Lions not having Hutch there to go ahead and chase him around. But that Lions defense is still good. They're still swarming. Their offense is clicking on every cylinder you can right now, which is kind of a cool pun for Mo City there. But I'm going to go with, I can't pick against the Lions, no matter what they're doing right now. So I got the Lions against the Packers. Jimbo.
This one hurt me to go against the Lions because I just love Dan Campbell.
And that's your number one team. That's your number one team in your power rankings is the Lions.
But like this is gonna be probably game of the year. I'm going to say that this might be game of the year. I just think kind of like you said, the Lions have been playing so well lately. Kind of like what you said about the Eagles, they're due for a little bit of a let-up game. Not necessarily get blown out, by 45 points, but just make one or two mistakes that the Packers will be able to capitalize on. Jordan Love, he's going to play. There's no way he misses a divisional game. And this is going to be, another fun, really good game. And I'm going to say game of the year. So I'm going with the Packers.
Going Packers, though. That's
that's
a bit of an upset to me. That's a bit of an upset. Maybe more so than the Jaguars over the Eagles, to tell you the truth.
I wouldn't go that far.
I might go that far. Next game we have is the Rams and the Seahawks. We both have the Rams in this game because the Seahawks are on full fraud alert right now. They are 4-4, the same as everybody in the NFC West. The Rams 3-4 because they've already had a bye week, but they are. I think the Rams right now, maybe in the NFC West, are playing better than any of the teams there currently. Again, they got Puka back, even though he was taken off the practice field yesterday for precautionary reasons. They seemed to be a little concerned about his knee, but everything came back. They were like, he's fine. He is going to play. It was just basically a precautionary reason why they took him off the field, just to be more on the safe side, which you understand. Again, they just got him back. It's like, let's not lose him over practice. So that's the case. Like, again, we both have the Rams over the Seahawks because, again, when it comes to the Seahawks at this point, I can't pick the Seahawks again until they show a little consistency, and I don't think they have that right now.
Yeah, no, I agree.
For Sunday night, and this one gets a lot more interesting with the Texans loss and with Joe Flacco starting there for the old Indianapolis Colts. Again, surprisingly, we both have the Colts in this game. My reasonings are simple. Joe Flacco starting for the Colts, and I think that makes a major difference. Again, if he played last week, the Colts beat the Texans, and I don't think it would have been close if he plays because the mistakes that Anthony Richardson made with throwing the ball, with command of the game, were just so atrocious. And again, the Colts only lost by 3. If Joe Flacco's in that game, the Colts win that game, winning, you're just going away. And the Vikings, like I said, the last 4 games, they could very easily have lost their last 4 games. They've lost 2 in a row. They could have lost 4 in a row. They were up 28-0 on the Packers and let the Packers score 29-3 in the second half after they went up 28-0 and almost lost to them, won by only 2 points. Then they had a collapse to the Jets in London in the second half where they had full command of the game, and only through the Jets' own ineptitude did the Vikings escape with a win there. And then again, their last 2 games, they start off good, they start off hot, and then they let the other team. Now, granted, they played a very tough, hard-nosed game with the Lions at home, divisional game. Lions are playing great, so I mean that's a loss you can almost sit there and say like that's not a good loss, but you can understand it. It's a close. You lost by a field goal, last-second field goal to the Lions, who might be playing the best NFL football right now. I get it, okay. But against the Rams, who were just getting Puka Nacua back, who were just getting Cooper Kupp back, who Cooper Kupp did not play particularly well or that much in that game. Puka was different. Puka did play very well. But you're going out to L.A. You're supposed to be this team. You come out gangbusters in the first 2 drives. You're up 14-0. You're rocking this shit. And then you let them come all the way back and put you in a position where you have to have this desperate kind of last-minute drive to try to put things together. And yeah, you got your face mask pulled, and yeah, it was a safety, and yeah, things were missed, and all this other shit. But why were you in that position in the first place if you're supposed to be this team that is trying to be one of the elites in the NFL? They need to show that they can play a full 60-minute game, which they haven't done in their last 4 games. They have not played a full 60 minutes. And against this Colts team, who now all of a sudden sees there's an opening to be like, we can get right back into this AFC South race, I think it's the Colts all day.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not ready to jump off the Vikings bandwagon completely. And I think I said this on Tuesday with our power rankings, but I got 1 foot off. And that's why I dropped them down so far. I need to see, like you said, I need to see a blowout win against the Colts. Granted, it's Joe Flacco. But I just don't see the Vikings doing that because it's Joe Flacco. Now, just to add this little anytime touchdown score type thing, I would love it if Joe Flacco runs for like a 10-yard touchdown run, turns to the Colts sideline and goes,
he's not, because he's the consummate gentleman. He's a consummate teammate. He's not going to do that, of course not. But would be funny if he fucking did. Would be funny if he did. And for Monday night, it is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. We both have the Chiefs on this one. Listen, if Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, or honestly, if either one of them were playing in this game, it would have given me more pause and a thought of picking the Buccaneers in this game. But with the Buccaneers' current situation, and I love Cade Otton, old cock Otton. He's fantastic. He's the breakout tight end this year. Just doing great things down there for Baker and the Buccaneers. And I think the Bucs keep it close. I think Baker plays a good game. I think they keep it close because the Chiefs are, again, still not playing their best football. Mahomes isn't playing the best football. But the Chiefs' defense is elite. It is honestly next level. And again, the Chiefs are 7-0, playing not great football, but they find a way to win. And I can't go against that right now. At home, Taylor probably will be in attendance. So for everybody wondering, you'll be able to see the Taylor counter up there, which is, I know everybody's a treat. They love the Taylor counter. I wonder why. I don't know what could be so. Why is the Taylor counter so attractive? I don't know idea. Why do people like looking at that? I have no idea. Could it be? You know, it's not the fact that she has her ass sticking out. Everybody in my Taylor counter picture. I don't know. It wouldn't be that. But yeah, I think it's the Chiefs. I think again, Evans and Godwin playing this game, different story. But the way it is now, I got to go with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going with the Chiefs, same reasons, but the only difference I'll say is I think this is the game our biggest nightmare happens. I think the Chiefs finally figure out on offense everything. And
if that happens, oh boy.
Yeah. because that defense is going to help off the offense have more chances because it's just Baker Mayfield, and Mayfield's been known to force passes,
trying to force the passes, and yes, he wants to make things work. Yeah.
So, but that's my only other reason I'm going with the Chiefs.
Yeah, so there you go. There is our picks for Week 9 here. And we have plenty of significant differences here in our picks this week. So that's interesting. That's interesting.
You can make a comeback.
Well, you don't need to make. I need to make the comeback. I need to gain ground on so many people. Yeah. Oh, I thought you said you had a comeback. Yeah. I need so many picks. And I'm trying to be smart with it, but watch, it's gonna end up being the same thing that happened last week, which is all the ones that I feel like are okay. These are the solid, safe blue chip picks. They're gonna lose, and then my more out there picks like my Jaguar Eagles pick or other ones where I'm thinking of more of an upset, they're gonna lose too. So I'm gonna end up with like 4 or 5 fucking wins again, and I'm gonna be like, God damn it. Like I said, my nephew's girlfriend, I think, is like 2 games behind me in the picks. She's 16 years old and doesn't know anything about goddamn football. This is where I am. This is where I am in the picks. It's not been a great year. It has not been a great year for picks. It hasn't. Be that as it may, we will see you again on Sunday as we go ahead and get ready for either the Giants and football team of Redskin Commanders or for the Eagles and Jaguars. We will figure out which game we're fucking doing. I don't know which one it is. Maybe we'll find a way to do a double game. I have no fucking idea. We'll try to figure it out. But also might be a 3-game Sunday. I might do the Lions and Packers game, and then might also obviously we'll be doing the Sunday night game because here at Stay Tuned Sports, we do every single NFL primetime game for you. If you want to help support the channel, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps us out tremendously. If you want to help out in a more direct fashion, we have links for our donation station and our merch store down in the description below. You can click on those links, and any amount that you can donate would, of course, help us out, or anything purchase. You want to purchase something? Go ahead, purchase. Purchases are great. We love purchases. It's like donating, except you get a cool gift. So thank you so very much, everybody, for joining us here on Stay Tuned Sports. Until Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern. Of course, don't forget, clocks fall back this weekend, which, by the way, to the people in charge, fucking keep it that way. Stop. No more springing forward. None of this other daylight saving shit. Standard time? Fine. Fucking keep it that way. Anyway, for your good friend Jimbo right over there, I am your boy King. This has been the Friday Forecast. We'll see you Sunday for Week 9, ladies and gentlemen. Adios.